to give up. I'm done with all the things I'm going through. I'm trying to keep my head up. I try to win, but every time I lose. Should be getting better. I try, but I don't know what to do. Hope this ain't forever. I just wanna make a breakthrough, but something inside said never give up. All of these setbacks are major setups. If I keep on fighting, if I keep on trying, if I aim for the sky, one day things will go my way. One day things will go my way. One day things will go my way. I've gotta hang in there. Deep down I know one day things will change. I can't live in fear. I know I've got to push through the pain. I've gotta believe in myself. Yeah. If it's not me, then no one else will.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Comfort Eyitayo, your regular host for Connect with Comfort show. On this program, we aim to add value to people on business enterprise, and we'll be featuring guests that will throw more insight on the topic of the day. I'm glad you are able to join us today. You are very welcome. Today we'll be dealing with the concept of superstructure and its role in the world of business. A superstructure refers to the organizational structure and hierarchy within a company or organization and how it affects the overall performance and success of the business. We will be examining the benefits, which include achieving exceptional performance and growth. We will also examine potential drawbacks of implementing a superstructure, as well as referencing the real-world examples of companies that have successfully utilized this strategy. Please remain connected as we proceed on a very short break, and we'll be right back with you. Thank you. That's a network problem. And me in welcoming a system expert, HR strategist, Nnanke Essien. You are welcome to come connect with Comfort Show. Nnanke, good afternoon.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, ma'am. I hope you're doing well today. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, and I said thank you so much for having me. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, I can hear you now. Sorry about the network glitch. This one day that it gets live. You are welcome. Once again, let me reintroduce our guest. She's are you back?
I can hear you
Can you hear me
perfectly.
now?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly. Yes, I'm right here.
Okay. Okay, you are welcome to connect with Comfort Show. Like I said, she's an expert and HR strategist. She is the strategist, a lead strategist at Sisa Consult. And here today she is to join us to talk to us or shed more insights on superstructure, super business. You are welcome once again. Please,
Thank you
without
so
much
much.
ado, let me go straight to it. Thank you. Let me go
That's fine.
through some of the areas that we want you to shed more insight. When we talk of superstructure, how does that relate to a business? We talk of superstructure. How does it relate to a business?
All right. Thank you very much for that question. So, from experience and from things that we've seen, a lot of businesses are very confused when it comes to the concept of structure. But if you look at it from what entrepreneurs are going through on a day-to-day basis, or even what organizations are going through that largely, you would find that the concept of structure refers to order, understanding every activity that directly engages or comes together to help you to reap the full benefits of your business, understanding what the life wire of your business is, understanding how to extract value from your business, and understanding your money maker. These are pretty much the things that come together to create the structure of your business. So when it comes to a business that is successful, a business that needs to grow, a business that wants to extend in terms of longevity, a business that wants to thrive, you need to consider these components that come together to basically give you the full benefits of your business. And when it comes to operations, there are different areas, that focus, or when it comes to structure, there are different areas that make up the structure. And the first area really is your vision. I mean, you can't talk about superstructure if you do not understand particularly where you're going to. I mean, every mom who has a child already understands that the vision is to have the baby and to have a child that is successful in life, right? So once you have that understanding of the vision, it's easier for you to then walk your step backwards to say, okay, where do we start from? Do I get an antenatal doctor? Do I get a cut? How much room do I need in my house? How much money do I need to start saving to have a baby? So these are the things that make up your structure as a case. So you must first of all understand your vision. You must also understand the pillars that make up your business. So pillars in this case could be your product, could be your strategy, it could be exactly where you want to play in the next couple of years or in the next couple of months, as the case may be. The other really is also who is going to help you maintain the structure. In other words, people. And then you need to also consider the processes and the technology, and then also the areas for you to manage your structure. So these basically are the things that come together to create structure. So if you listen to this description, basically, it focuses on every single thing that helps you harness the value and the benefit of your business. So this is from understanding your vision to understanding the pillars that will hold the structure in place. In other words, your strategy, then the people that would actualize that, as well as the technology and the processes, and then a process for continuous improvement or making the system even better, as the case were. So basically, that's the superstructure in a nutshell. And if you want to build a business that is long term, that outlives you, or a business that is even successful, you must consider these pillars as it relates to structure. Can you hear me, please?
Thank you. Yes, yes. Thank you very much. You are making the
Thank
best of the bad network situation. I hope it gets better.
you. All right.
Now, how does that concept that you have just described now, that is the super business, how does it differ from the traditional business model?
Oh, well, that's also a very fantastic question. And, it's very interesting because a lot of people are migrating from the traditional business model into the super business model because they found that at some point in their existence, the business can no longer move forward. The business can no longer make progress if the direct owner doesn't give direct instructions to the business. You see. So the major difference is you being aware of what, not, well, really, the major difference is you being aware of who you want to be in the future, and then creating these structures and pillars to make it work. So I give a classic example of the Burj Khalifa, right? I'm sure a lot of us know the Burj Khalifa. When the Burj Khalifa was going to be created, the first thing that happened was the vision. So the vision in alignment with the entire United Arab Emirates vision, which is to ensure that there is immediate movement of people and logistics within their borders, right? And so from creating the vision, they were able to design, the prototype, the strategy that ensure that that vision was going to come to life, and then get, architects and builders from different parts of the world to ensure that that business really moved forward. And till today, the business still stands because the vision allows for you to be able to edit your structure. The vision allows for you to be able to make differences. So, for instance, you will find that there's a lot of light display on the wall. Well, that's because of some of the I don't remember that term right now in science, but that's because of the heat level that that environment has. So they had to come up with nice and divisive ways. So in other words, once you understand your vision, your strategy may change, but the vision still remains. So the difference between a super business and a traditional business is that most times the traditional businesses run or start out of a need. So maybe you want to sack a boss, or a mother-in-law is threatening you that if you don't start a business, you have to leave the house, or you're just poor and your family is just poor. You decide that no, I don't want to join my family business. I want to do something different. So most times there's never really a foundation or a vision for which the business should start. And so when the business gets to a certain way, there's nothing else sustaining the business. There's nothing else that helps business to grow, and automatically they may either die a natural death or bring in consultants to help them revive the structure. But with a super business, we find that from ab initio, we're already thinking about what our future will look like, and then working with our operations to ensure that we're able to manage that reality.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you give us an example of a business that utilizes superstructure that we can relate to in terms of what you have explained to us?
So off the top of my head, I would quickly go to the 100 Club because I'm very obsessed with businesses that have lasted 100 years. The reason being that they pass through tectonic structures or tectonic issues. They pass through life. They pass through what they call the economic ups and downturns, and they pass through generations as well. So I like to refer back to, and I'm sorry that I'm not using an African reference for now. I apologize. But I'd like to use Coca-Cola, for instance, as one of the businesses that has utilized superstructure up until today. Now, the goal of this company, the overall vision, is to refresh the world, but in an ethical structure, in an ethical manner. And you'll find that every single time that the market shifts, their vision still remains the same, but their strategy changes. So an example will be that, when the world started going towards the whole fish farm and all of that, and you know that automatically the drink does not align with the fish farm structure. So you would find that immediately that was happening, they started to acquire smaller companies that focus on that, on where their own customers were going to, but still maintain their vision of refreshing. Another company that has done that is Sisa. Sisa is an African-owned company, in fact, a Nigerian-owned company in Dubai, and has franchises in other African countries. And you will find them leveraging their culture and their people to drive the experience that they have as their vision. Another company that you find in Nigeria is House of Tara, that is currently, leveraging the super business structure, the superstructure to run a super business in terms of franchising. Another person that mirrors that is the Oriki group of companies as well. This company in Nigeria also mirrors superstructure, super business. So the main thing that you can find with all of these people is that they understand the concept of their vision. And it is not just a vision that is about the owner alone. It's really about the people that they're serving, the market that they're serving. And you find that because they understand it, they're able to develop the structure, the people, the strategy, the processes majorly to help them to achieve this. Because if you do not have processes, if you do not have the right process flow, and you do not have the right people to identify how that process flow works, and unfortunately, you do not have the superstructure or a super business. Sorry.
Okay, thank you very much. A follow-on question is, how does a superstructure benefit a business in terms of efficiency and scalability?
Okay. That's a
How
very
does
brilliant.
a business, a superstructure that is, benefit business in terms of efficiency and scalability?
Okay. So I'd like to I'll try and create a practical scenario here. I spoke initially about the different structures that make up, or the different areas that make up your structure. And I talked about exactly why you are in business, why people should pay attention to you. I talked about what you should pay attention to help you get there. I also talked about the people that would help you bring that vision to life, and what kind of people, what kind of skills what kind of sufficiency in skills do you need in terms of people. I also mentioned, how you ensure compliance to the vision, how you ensure compliance to the process, how you will develop your people, and also how you will track performance. Now, how does all of these benefit the company? Of course, when everybody is aligned in terms of understanding where we are going to as a business, what our core is as a business, who our customers are, how we intend to serve our customers, and what strategy we use to serve our customers. And then also in terms of our culture as well, you find that there is a uniform behavior across board. And once there's a uniform behavior across board, it leads to um, perfect, would I say near perfect operations. And if people experience customer experience that is near perfect, or they experience a service that is near perfect, what's going to happen is that word of mouth begins to spread. People begin to talk about your business and reference your business, and that directly impacts profitability. So I'll give an example of a radio station, right? A radio station, or a maybe let me say a radio station, maybe their long-term goal is to reach out to Gen Z and to ensure that they're able to get, the right news at the right time, or to be able to get, what do you call it? Yeah, or to even focus on investors who are coming into Nigeria to give them, solid economic news at that particular point in time. Now they understand what their short-term and their mid-term goals are. They understand what their differentiators are. Okay, so they are able to get the right news at the right time. They're able to access their people, and they're able to identify what their daily workload will look like. Now, when you understand what your daily workload will look like, the next thing you want to track as a business, which makes sense immediately, is to identify. So, which of these are income generating tasks? Which of these are the ones that my clients are paying me for? Which of these are going to lead us towards our success and towards our future? Now, when you have done that, the goal is to then ask yourself, who are the people that are going to help us, to achieve these operations? I'm just giving an example of how that flow will work. Who are the people that are going to help us achieve, this operational task? And then you put them into names and put them into roles, basically, and then identify the kind of work that they will do and all of that. And this is how you begin to draw your organogram, which a lot of organizations will, of course, know about. And by this time, you're already listing your tasks, you're already listing the responsibilities of people, you've already created your JDs and your onboarding trainings and all of those beautiful things that happen. Now, the next question you want to ask yourself is that how do we then go from, assessing it to getting a client to delivering on the result, which is the news that we talked about? That process flow, helps you to track people's performance, helps you to understand compliance, helps you to understand all of the various beautiful things that are happening in your space. And at the end of the day, if you're able to deliver on this consistently, what's going to happen is that from time to time, you become the reference point, in your industry. And once you're the reference point in your industry, it leads to market dominance. And from market dominance also leads to, of course, profitability in the long run. So having an ordered system where you understand how these different blocks, fall, or how the different blocks pile upon each other to create success is absolutely important if you want to get market dominance, if you also want to get profitability, if you also want to build a long-term business. So basically, that's how I think it affects businesses. But that's how I know it affects businesses.
Thank you very much. With all this explanation, how does this affect the economy, these super businesses that we are aiming to create? How does it affect the economy and the job market?
Oh, that's also a very brilliant question. Of course, we all know right now that our middle class is not a very robust, there's not a very robust economy happening in the middle class. And once we start to build super businesses based on super structures with the right vision, the right processes, the right people, and the right culture, what you will find is a stronger middle class. And where is that going to lead us to at the end of the day? It will lead us to transgenerational businesses. These are economic issues that we are not currently seeing in Nigeria. We are not currently seeing successful transfer of businesses from one generation to another. We're not seeing that happen. And another thing that we need to pay attention to is that there's a lot of what you call it, economic opportunities that a lot of businesses are missing right now because they do not have a superstructure. Part of it being that Nigeria is booming in terms of people, and because we are booming in terms of population explosion, it also means that there's need for injection of economic opportunities. So infrastructure along buildings, infrastructure along tech, infrastructure around education, around agriculture and whatnot. Now, because as a business owner, I'm focusing on the day-to-day operations that is happening in my business or the day-to-day administrative work, I'm unable to actually focus on this economic opportunity. And trust me, it's going to become a lot more because we are seeing a lot of international communities now paying attention to Africa and what is going on here in Africa. So if we're not building super businesses, first of all, we are not going to be attractive to these businesses that are coming into this country. And secondly, we will not be able to attract or even pay attention to the untapped opportunities that are happening in Africa. Like I mentioned, our current present population is leading to, new markets, and there's an opportunity for us to fulfill those new markets in terms of providing goods and services to new city population, closing infrastructure gaps, creating more jobs, across the different areas I mentioned before: food production, urbanization, mobile tech, name it. But with the fact that a lot of businesses are paying attention to daily operational issues and things that are bothering them, and also with the fact that we have poor performance in raging organizations, employee productivity issues, shortage in labor, and all the other issues, we find that we are not able to pay attention to this economic opportunities, to the opportunities that are facing us in Africa. And if we do not have a strong middle class. And if we don't, we can't even start talking about building long-term businesses or even building businesses that can outlive the owner. And these are the issues we're experiencing in Africa. So a superstructure, super business that focuses on the right vision, I make bold to say, the right people, the right processes, and the right culture would help us to pay attention to what matters, to build the foundation for us to grow economically and focus on the untapped economic situation. So yes, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We will go on a short break and we'll be back. Please
All
remain
right, thank you.
connected. We'll be back shortly. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay, we are back. Well, as the impact of superstructure on men's and decision making, what are the decision making process within the business if you must achieve this superstructure?
Okay, so first of all, I think that the founders must pay attention. First of all, founders must pay attention. I keep mentioning the vision because that's where we start from. But we then must pay attention to what gives the vision life. So, what are the fundamentals that we need to pay attention to that help us bring our vision to life? So, Amazon, for instance, part of the things that help bring their vision to life is having a seamless logistics process, and that's me putting it very mildly. Also, having a seamless logistics and procurement process, having an e-commerce website that works, and having the right customer experience and the right culture. These are pillars that make that these are the solid pillars that make their operations work. So first of all, as business owners, we need to first of all pay attention to those pillars. And then secondly, we need to pay attention also to our goals as businesses. How much do we want to make as a business? Where do we get the customers from? How are we looking to serve these customers? What is our core as a business? Where are the people going to come from? How are we going to manage these people? These are things you need to pay attention to. When you're asking yourself, what are the behaviors that are required of the people that are going to help us run the business? And then also corporate governance. Because there's no way you can, achieve anything meaningful if you don't have the right corporate governance structure that is backing you up as a business. So these are some of the things, they are deeper than this, but these are some of the things that we need to pay attention to, the decision makers need to pay attention to. And also I think that it's important for business owners to also be able to see the business as a life of its own so that you can give your staff members the opportunity to be innovative, to think, to create, and to provide the right solutions or the right fuel that will help the businesses grow. So these are some of the things I think we need to pay attention to as business owners that can help us to thrive and to build super businesses. A super structure is fluid, but is also structured. So what I mean by that is that, times may change. So for instance, we also saw the advent of the novel coronavirus, what do you call it? The novel coronavirus saga that happened was a public health issue. Yes, you already have a structure, yes, you already have a structure, but we all have to also be a bit flexible with the way that we migrated our operations, virtually to still serve our audiences. So in as much as your structure should be solid, it must have some level of flexibility in order to accommodate the changes in the market or the changes in in order to accommodate the changes in the marketplace or the changes even in the customer needs and desire as well. So I hope that answers the question.
Thank you very much. How do super businesses differ in terms of management and decision making compared to the traditional business?
So in traditional businesses, we have that a lot of times, the CEO is the last boss. Like everything has to pass through the lens of the CEO or the owner of the business. But that's not a very smart way to run a business because you find that if the person is sick, for instance, or has gone on vacation with the family, I had situations whereby a former organization that I was connected to, the boss had traveled for just 2 weeks. And by the time he came back, he had at least 120 memos waiting for him to sign. And that is not a very efficient way. So you can imagine how many customers they were keeping waiting. Imagine how many unfulfilled, what do you call it, unfulfilled invoices they had to fulfill. Imagine how much bottleneck existed in that business because the owner took a vacation for the first time in 3 years. So that's not a very effective and efficient way to run a business. So what happens right now, like I mentioned, in terms of corporate governance, people understand, the limits to which they can make decisions. So your line managers are empowered to make decisions, your hiring managers are empowered to make decisions, your team members are empowered to make decisions at certain levels. And with a very robust and transparent corporate governance, people understand their level within the business so that before the final buck gets to the overall decision maker, at least decisions have been made at a lower level to make it easier for the owner to make a decision at the end of the day, or to even make operations to flow. Because some of the reasons why you find that operations are collapsed or operations are not moving is because you have to wait for the CEO to sign up or to make it. That's an old school method of running a business, and the business can never grow. The business cannot be what do you call it, cannot be efficient. The business cannot also be effective in terms of meeting the needs of a teeming population or a fast-paced population. So basically, these are the differences: having breaking bureaucracy and giving decision-making powers to your team members as well to certain levels. Certain levels also with checks and balances, so that there's no fraud, so there's no opportunity for the system to be porous, and there's no opportunity for things that are not very exciting to that organization. So yeah, that's what I'll say.
Thank you. In all this, I'm sure we have potential drawbacks. So what would you say are the drawbacks or ethical concerns associated with succeeding in establishing super business?
Sorry, I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
What are the potential drawbacks or ethical concerns that we may have about establishing super businesses?
Yeah, so like I said, one of the things that super businesses does is that it gives people the flexibility to make decisions. And if you don't have the right rules or the right corporate governance structure guiding decision making, you can open up yourself to fraudulent activity. If you also have a situation whereby somebody starts a transaction and ends the transaction as well, you might also have room for error. you know. So these are some of the issues. And also, if, for instance, it is not properly, it doesn't fit properly, and there's a government regulation or there is a strike or something that happens, it could easily affect, those businesses. But other than that, I think once it's properly planned and you have the right legal structure and you have the right corporate governance and you have the right people in place, I'm sure it will work best for the organization. Now, also in terms of potential drawbacks, people can become very overzealous with running superstructures. So I give an example of some of the layoffs that we've had in recently new organizations coming up, particularly in the tech space. You find that because people want to be progressive in their thinking, we miss out a particular step in the development of superstructures. You might miss out on you might be forward in the culture aspect, but you might not be forward in the process aspect. You might be forward in the process aspect, but miss something out of it. You might be forward in the vision process, but not so something may be missing. And because these organizations are very fast paced, they run into trouble real fast. And because they run into trouble real fast, they now end up laying off people in massive firms or owing people money or just running the business haphazardly. So in running a superstructure, it is a sprint, it's not a marathon. So you must think about these structures critically, particularly around culture, particularly around people, particularly around processes and the governance structures that man your processes so that you don't run into, drawbacks or ethical concerns as we are seeing now with a lot of layoffs happening, particularly in the tech space and whatnot. So yeah, that's what I'm considering that.
Thank you very much. You have actually the topic at hand, and we are grateful for that. I know you have a very busy schedule, and you've intimated us on your need to go quickly. But at the same time, I want to ask the technical team if you have questions from the live audience. So if you can get them ready so that by
Yes,
the time we come back from the next break, we can take that quickly in order to allow her to leave. So we'll go on a
no
short
problem.
break and we'll be back soon. Thank you. Okay, you're welcome back once again. I would like to appreciate our online audience. I guess we do not have any questions for you for this time spent with us, for allowing us from your rich knowledge on this topic. Next time we call on you, you'll be able to avail us of the opportunity for sharing with us today.
Okay, thank you. I really can't
Did you
hear,
hear
but
me?
okay, I can hear you now. Thank you so much for
Did
the
you hear
opportunity.
me?
I think I did, but thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Yeah.
Have a great evening. Thank you so much. Am I allowed to log off now? All right. Thank
Thank you. Okay, welcome back. You from our program, but we'll try and manage with it. As a form of recap, for those of us perhaps that did not join the or because of the discussion you are not able to grab some things, as a form of recap, I will start by saying the term super business is often used in contrast to small businesses or startups. As we address issues that pertains to growth, we also have to aim at looking at how we will develop our businesses into that stage that it can be called super business. That's why we're bringing the topic. Yes, the level of resources available to small businesses is different from what is available to the one we call super businesses and the market share. All the same, we feel is something to ask for us to understand, but there's need for us to understand having a super. So that came clearly from what our guests shared with us. It's necessary for us to have vision. For you to be able to build yourself to 10 land against you have vision. And you must also go through the necessary what we have been speaking about a superstructure is to make sure that we have the necessary structure that will take our business to that level to be able to implement businesses at that level of super business. The current trend in superstructure, having the right governance in place, the right leadership, of course, the right focus and vision, which will drive the business. And the management, in terms of the not just the rule of thumb that will be applied, there must be standards that they set for businesses to thrive as super business. We also need to be sure that we aim at getting a good size or portion of the market when we are trying to grow our businesses. We must aim to get that large share of the market before we can start aiming to have our businesses described as super business. But something that is also clear is that we today, yes, some because they have the operation and all that, but some started small and they grew up to that super business that we are seeing today. And what that is telling us is that that's our business that is seen as small or medium today can also go into that level of super, of achieving that super business status. It is important for us to have collaboration in members that superstructure and create the necessary level to take our business to that super business status. We should also have clear and transparent within our business to build trust, credibility with stakeholders and investors, likewise the customers. That is what will help us to grow our business to that status. Also, when we talk of superstructure, it must be such a structure that is agile, that is adaptable, that will be adaptable to changes in the market and industry, because we need to remain competitive for us to take our business to that higher level that we desire it, when it can be known as super business. Of course, the benefit of having super business is that, like I said, we will have the large market share, but the bottom line is the profit and the what we call bottom line, which is the profit at the end of the day, which will keep the business going, because we are not just in the business to mark numbers. You are in the business to grow, you are to make profits and grow the business. So the businesses that are starting small today have the opportunity to grow into large business or super business. In conclusion, the concept of having superstructure and super business have this, a lot of significance for us as business owners, or those that are trying to own businesses of their own. It depends on the approach you use to organize your business or various businesses that will determine the level you can take that business. We also want to let you know that it's important to be mindful of efficiency in the way you organize your structure, and streamline the process in such a way that you do not have too much bottleneck, but make it innovative, to have innovative models that will give that sprint to your business to become a super business. It is important also to note that we must plan. Planning and implementation of that plan is very crucial for us to fully realize the benefits of having a thriving business that will become super business, and also to make sure that we negate all the potential drawbacks as she was trying to tell us. So super business is possible for us to attain if we have the right vision, the right focus, the right structure. So our advice is that you try and build on this to make sure that your business thrives and grow in as it is designed. So I want to appreciate all our listeners, those who have been following us and those who are just joining us today. You are free to connect with us or contact us if you have more clarification or questions in any area of business that you need help. We will try as much as possible to make ourselves available. Please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Eyitayo, and once you have done that, please do not forget to subscribe and turn on the notification button, like it and share our videos. Stay updated with information that is available and about upcoming events, solutions that we have for businesses on offer, and please connect also with my Instagram, Comfort Eyitayo, as well as my Facebook at Comfort Eyitayo. Once again, okay, good evening, Mr. Nnanke. Do you have a question for us because we are at the stage of wrapping up, or is just greeting us? Okay, perhaps it's just saying only. So we are at that stage of wrapping up. What is left for me is to thank you till I come your way again next week. Try as much as possible to build a super structure to enable you to build a super business. Together, we shall journey on the path for growth and greatness for our businesses. Good evening, and thank you.